fellow galactic family. The set of texts presented here, together, in one volume, some of the many aspects of the work and Sri Aurobindo's teachings in The Mother, which deal with the psychic being. The selection covers the nature of the psychic projecting light Sri Aurobindo and the Mother on inside the human structure. The word soul has a very ambiguous use in the English language, because often designates the whole of consciousness that is not physical, including even the vital with its desires and passions. Therefore, the term psychic being should be used to distinguish this divine portion of the instrumental parts of nature. As the Sri Aurobindo points out, the word psychic has been used in a confusing manner. So the first part of this compilation of texts contains statements relating to the different meanings of the words soul and psychic and reclarifies its meaning in the context of yoga. Finally, it is necessary to point out the essential distinction is that, Sri Aurobindo, between the soul in its essence and the soul in its evolved and individually. Effectively, it means the first with the word psyche, psychic essence, psychic entity, psychic existence of the soul or spark of the soul element. And calls the second to be psychic, psychic personality, form the soul or personality of the soul, which is, according to its own definition, the spark that grows and becomes a fire that evolves with the development of consciousness. The earth must become to match the sky, or the sky down in the mortal state of the earth. But so vast spiritual change takes place, the mystical cave in the heart of man, the heavenly psyche must lift the veil, and enter the full grounds of common nature, and keep finding the face of this nature and govern your thoughts and fill your body and your life. Sri Aurobindo Savitri, Book 7, Corner 2. Ed. Below are some selected excerpts. At the beginning of the creation of humanity, it is the ego, the unifying element. It is around the ego that different states of being are grouped. But now, preparing the birth of suprahumanidade, the ego must disappear and leave the place to be psychic that forms slowly to divine intervention, to manifest the divine in man. The Mother. The role of being psychic. This is the function of the psychic being act on each plan so that the person wake up to the real truth and the divine reality. Sri Aurobindo. What is the work of the psychic being? What is the work of the psychic being? You want to have a job? What do you mean exactly? What is its function? Well, you could say this: it's like the wire that connects the generator to the lamp. Now, if someone realized that explains what I said. What is the generator and what the lamp? Laughs. Oh, okay. So what is the generator and that is the lamp? Rightly is it. What is the generator and what the lamp? The generator is the divine and the lamp is the body. Its body is visible. Then this. That's your job. That is, if there were no psychic being in matter, there could be no direct contact with the divine. And thanks to this psychic presence in matter that the contact can be direct between matter and the divine, and can be said of all human beings: you carry the divine within you, and will find it. It's something very special about human beings, or at least the inhabitants of the earth. In the human being the psychic becomes more conscious, more formed, more conscious and more independent also. It is individualized in humans. But it is a specialty of the earth. It is a direct, special and redeeming infusion, the more unconscious matter and darker, so she can wake up again, in stages, to the divine consciousness, the divine presence and finally the divine itself. It is the presence of the psychic being that makes man an exceptional being. I do not like to say it, because you believe it too. Do you have an opinion of himself so high, it is not necessary to animate it. But anyway, it is a fact, to the point that there are certain beings from other planes of the universe, which some call demigods or even gods, beings, for example, that Sri Aurobindo calls Overmind, who are very eager to take a physical body on earth, to have the experience of being psychic because they do not have it. These beings certainly have qualities that men do not have, but lack this divine presence, which is quite exceptional, and that is a fact of earth and nowhere else. All these inhabitants of the higher worlds, higher mental, the overmind and other regions have no psychic being. No doubt, vital beings also do not. But they do not complain, do not want. There are only those very rare, quite exceptional, who want to convert, and so make an immediate thing, it is to take a physical body. Others do not want. This is something that binds them, constrains a rule they do not want. But it is a fact. Consequently, I have to see that this is so. To take it, the psychic being is an exceptional virtue of being human. And to tell the truth, it does not take great advantage. It does not seem to consider their virtue as something very, very desirable, for the way it treats this presence, exactly that. Prefer your mind ideas, prefer their desires vital, and prefer their physical habits. The mother, the soul and psychic being are one and the same thing? This depends on the definition that is given to words. In most religions, and perhaps also in the philosophies, is called soul to be vital, because it is said that the soul leaves the body, when the vital being who leaves the body. There is talk of saving souls, of evil souls, of saving souls. But all this applies to be vital because the psychic being has no need to be saved. Does not take part of the faults of the outside person, is free from all reaction. The mother. It is necessary to distinguish between the soul in its essence and the psychic being. Each has a soul that is the spark of the divine, nothing could exist without it. But it is absolutely possible that a vital and physical exist without, behind him, a clearly evolved psychic. And therefore, it cannot be said, in general, that primitive men had no soul, or your soul is not showing anywhere. Sri Aurobindo. Double soul. There is in us a double soul, or a double psychic term, as double any other cosmic principle in us. We have, in effect, two minds. One is the surface mind of our ego that is expressed in the evolution of the surface mind we create emerging from matter. Another a subliminal mind that is not hindered by our current mental life and its strict limitations, and that is great, powerful and light, the true mental being behind this superficial form of mental personality that we ourselves wrongly. We have two parallel lives, a pool, woven in the physical body, united by their past evolution to matter, who lives, who is born and die, the other a subliminal force of life, which is not closed in the narrow boundaries of our birth and our physical death, but that is our life be true, behind the way of life that ignorance makes us take for our real existence. This duality is present even in the matter of our being. Because behind our body, we possess an existence more subtle, material, which provides the substance not only our physical development of life and mental development, and is therefore our real substance, the support of this physical form. Does a Satanament imagine that is the total body of our spirit? We also have in us a double psychic entity, on the surface of the soul desire, which operates in our vital anxieties, our emotions, our aesthetic faculties and our mental quest for power, knowledge and success, and a subliminal psychic entity, pure force of light, of love, of joy and Sutlazada essence of being, that is our true soul behind the outer form of psychic existence, of whose name we do honor as often. When a reflection of this larger and pure psychic entity comes to the surface, We speak of a man who has a soul, and not has this reflex does not appear in its external psychic life. Sri Aurobindo. The soul and life are two completely different powers. The soul is a spark of the divine spirit that sustains the individual nature. The mind, life and body are instruments for the manifestation of nature. In most men, the soul is hidden and surrounded by the action of external nature. Men confuse the vital being and the soul, because the vital is who animates and moves the bodies. But this vital being is a thing made of desires and executional forces, good and bad. It is the soul of desire, not the true soul. When the true soul psyche is put forward and begins first to influence, then govern the actions of the instrumental nature, man begins to overcome vital desire and to develop to a divine nature. Sri Aurobindo. If knowledge is the largest power of consciousness, and its function is to release and light, love is the deepest and most intense power, and their privilege is to be the key to the most intimate retreats and most secret of the divine mystery. The man, as it is a mental being, is inclined to give paramount importance to the thinking mind and his reason, his will, his mental way to approach and realize the truth. It has even tendency to consider that there is no other way to do it. The intellect of the eyes, the heart, with his emotions and his unpredictable movements, is a dark power, uncertain, often dangerous and misleading, that must be under the control of reason, mental will and intelligence, and yet, there in the heart or behind it, a deeper mystical light that is not what we call intuition because it passes through the mind, but not from the mind, but that is in contact with the truth, and it is closer to the divine than the human intellect with his pride, his knowledge. According to the old teaching, the seat of the immanent divine, the Purusha hidden, is found in the mystic heart, the secret cave of the heart, Hridayagurham, as it is called in the Upanishads, and according to the figures of experience yogis, as these depths comes the voice or the inspiration of the inner oracle. This heart ambiguity, these apparent oppositions between depth and blindness, are created by the dual nature of human emotions. Because in the foreground, in man, there is a heart of vital emotions, similar to that of animals, although its development is more varied. A heart whose emotions are governed by selfish passions, blind and instinctive affection, and all the life impulses game with its imperfections, its perversions and its often sordid degradations, is a heart besieged and conquered by lust, desire, anger, brutal and intense demands, or by small covetousness and meanness of a dark life force, and fallen, aged by his bondage to any impulse. This mixture of the emotive heart and eager sensations vital creates in man a false soul of desire. It is this crude and dangerous element which the reason distrusts, with every right, and feel the need to dominate, although in reality, the domain, or even more, coercion it comes to exercise on our gross vital nature in stubborn results always very uncertain and misleading. But the true soul of man is not there. Is the true heart invisible, hidden in some luminous cave of our nature there under a divine light infiltration, is our soul, the silent and deep being, which few men are just aware. Because, although everyone has a soul, rare are those who realize their true soul or feel its direct impulse. There where lives the little spark of the divine that sustains the dark mass of our nature, around it grows the psychic being, the formed soul or the real man in us. As the psychic being grows and the movements of the heart reflect its divine impulses, the man becomes increasingly aware of his soul and ceases to be a superior animal, and awakening to some glow of divinity that is in it accepts increasingly intimations of a life and a deeper awareness and impulse that leads him to divine things. One of the defining moments of integral yoga is when the psychic being released, emerges from the depths behind the veil, comes to the surface and can pour on the mind, life and body of man, the great chain of their intuitions, their visions and their inspirations, and start preparing the building of divinity in earthly nature. Sri Aurobindo. The nature of being psychic. It is in the nature of the soul or psychic being, turn to the divine truth as the sunflower to the sun. All that is divine or progressing to the deity, she accepts and assumes, and withdraws from all that is a perversion or an insult to the divinity of all that is false or anti-divine. But in the beginning the soul is no more than a spark, then a little divine flame that burns in the dark is largely hidden inside the sanctuary, and to prove, has to call to mind the strength of life and physical consciousness and persuade them that express as much as they can. Generally, it can at most impregnate with your inner light and its exterior, with its purifying delicacy, mitigate its darks or its gross promiscuity. Even when the psychic being is sufficiently trained to be able to express themselves in a more direct way in life, there is more than for a few, a tiny part of being no bigger than a man's thumb in the human body, according to the image of the ancient seers, and is not able to prevail, never against the darkness and ignorant smallness of the physical consciousness, against erroneous self-sufficiency of the mind or the arrogance and vehemence of the vital nature. The soul is forced to accept the mental, emotional and sensory life, as it is in men, their relationships, their activities, their shapes and their favorite symbols. It must work to bring out the divine element buried in all this relative truth, continuously mixed with error falsifications, this love put animal body service, or the satisfaction of the vital ego, this life of common man crossed by rare and ancient divinity flashes and bright shadows of devil and the beast. She makes no mistakes ever in its essential will, but is often obliged, under pressure from their instruments, to tolerate faults in action, misguided feelings, ill-chosen people, errors in the correct expression of his will and the circumstances to express their ideal infallible interior. However, there is in it a vision which makes it a safer guide than reason or desires, even the most noble, and despite the mistakes and apparent missteps, his voice can, however, more safely drive than the precise intellect, and that the considerations of mental judgment. This voice of the soul is not what is called the conscience, it is no more than a mental substitute, often conventional and subject to error. It is a deeper call and rarely heard. However, the wisest is to follow it when listening. It is even preferable to her following the call of the soul to advance directly in appearance, according to reason and moral outside. But it is only when life turns to the divine, the soul can truly be put forward and impose its power to external parts of the being, because, being itself a spark of the divine, his true life and the very reason for their existence is to grow as a call to the divine. Sri Aurobindo. The real secret soul in us, subliminal, we have said, but the word can be confusing, because this presence is not under the threshold of the waking mind, but, much more, burning in the temple of the innermost heart, behind the dense curtain of mind, a life and a body ignorant, not subliminal but behind the veil. This hidden psychic entity is the flame of the divine, always lit in us. This dense unconsciousness cannot quench our spiritual inner being, yet it gets dark outside our nature. It is a flame born of the divine. Bright inhabitant of ignorance, it grows until the moment can turn it to the knowledge. It is the inner witness, the controller, the hidden guide, the daimon of Socrates, the inner light or inner voice of the mystic. It is what remains, which is imperishable in us from birth to birth, unobtainable by death, decrepitude or corruption, an indestructible spark of the divine. It is not the be essential or Atman unborn because the self-essential, still presiding the existence of the individual, is always conscious of its universality and its transcendence. Is its representative in the forms of nature, the individual soul, Chitya Purusha that sustains the mind, life and body, lies behind the mental being, vital and subtle physical in us, sailing in their evolution and their experiences. These other powers, or people in man, these beings of his being are also hidden in their true entity, but put forward temporary personalities that make up our outer individuality and whose superficial action and appearance combine stability, we call ourself. Taking shape in us, this psychic person, this entity inmost puts in also a psychic personality which changes, grows, develops from life to life. Because it is the traveler who goes from birth to death and from death to birth. Parts of nature in us are no more than a mutable and multiple dress. At the beginning the psychic being cannot work more than a veiled way, fragmentary and indirect, through the mind, life and body, since these are the parts of nature that must be developed in order to become the instruments, thanks to which it will express itself, and its evolution is limited for a long time its action. Its mission is to lead man from ignorance to the light of divine consciousness, absorbs the essence of all that is lived in ignorance to form the core of soul growth in nature. The rest becomes the material for a future development of instruments which should be used until they are prepared to serve as a light of the divine instruments. It is the secret psychic entity that is the true original conscience in us deeper than the conventional consciousness and made the moralist, because it is she who always points out the truth, justice, beauty, love and harmony and all that is divine possibility in us, and she insists that while these things do not come to be the greatest need of our nature, it is the psychic personality in us that emerges from producing the saint, the sage, the seer. When it reaches the fullness of its strength back is to the knowledge of the self-essential and divine, to the supreme truth, the supreme good, beauty, love, the supreme beatitude, the heights, the vast divine extensions and opens in spiritual sympathy, universality, unity. On the other hand, there where the psychic personality is weak, immature or poorly developed, missing parts and fine movements, or his character and his power are poor, while the mind is a strong and bright estruda, heart and your vital emotions rigid, powerful and domain floods, the force of life, dominant and triumphant, and the rich body and happy existence and apparently victorious and sovereign. It is then the soul desire outside, the pseudo-psychic entity that reigns, and we take their misinterpretations as suggestions and as psychic aspiration. Their ideas and their ideals, their ambitions and their cravings for the real substance of the soul and the wealth of spiritual experience, if the veiled psychic person can put up front and replacing the soul desire, to govern open and fully this external nature of mind, life and body, rather than just, partially and behind the veil then the mind, life and body can be molded images of the soul, what is true, just and beautiful, and finally, the whole nature to lean toward the real purpose of life, the supreme victory, the ascent to spiritual existence. Sri Aurobindo. The soul is always pure, but the knowledge and strength that are in it are involuous and manifest themselves only as the psychic being evolves and grows. Sri Aurobindo. A perverse and lower life can have no other effect than to separate, each time more fully, the outer being of the psychic, who retires at the depths of the higher consciousness, and sometimes even cuts off all connection with the body, which is then often owned by a Asurico Titan. A hostile be belonging to the plane of vital mentalized or rajasic. The psychic being is himself, above all possibility of degradation. The mother. Is there any difference between spiritual and psychic? They are two different plans? Yes. The psychic plane belongs to the personal manifestation. The psychic being is the divine art of being individual, a driving game. But when we speak of spiritual, we think of something that is more concentrated in the divine than the manifestation of the surface. The spirit world is static and is behind and above the universal game. Maintains the nature of the instruments, but do not think he even included or submerged in outer manifestation. However, in speaking of these things, we must be careful not to let us limit by words that we use. When I say psychic or spiritual, I talk about things that are very deep and real behind the poor surface appearance of words, and that is in close relation to each other, even being different. The definitions and intellectual distinctions are very superficial and rigid to hold the absolute truth of things. The mother. What is the difference between the word spiritual and the word psychic? Is not the same thing. Being psychic is being organized by the divine presence and is earth itself. Do not speak of the universe, only the earth, and it's just where on earth you will find the psychic being. The universe contains all areas above the physical realm. There is a global physical comprising the mind, vital, etc., and above all the mental framework areas are areas of spiritual order, scopes that to you are spirit, and is this spirit that little by little, gradually materializes to take the matter as we conceive it. The sovereign mental beings, for example, and all the beings of the higher regions have no psychic being, the angels have no psychic being. This is just where on earth psychic life begins, and it is precisely the procedure by which the divine has aroused material life to the need to achieve its divine origin. Without the psychic matter would never be awakened from his unconsciousness, he would never have aspired to the life of their origin or spiritual life. The mother. It is also a mistake to think only the vital is warm and the psychic being would be something cool that does not contain any flame. A clear and clean kindness is a good and desirable thing. But that is not what is meant by psychic love. Love is love and not just kindness. Psychic love can have a warmth and a flame as intense and even more intense than the vital love. Only that their fire is pure. It has no need to survive, to satisfy the desire of the ego or devour the fuel that embraces. Your flame is white and not red, but white heat is not less ardent than red. It is true that the psychic love does not usually the opportunity to develop fully human relations and human nature. For it is easier to find the fullness of his fire and his ecstasy when high for the divine. In human relations the blends psychic love with other elements who seek to serve him and overshadow it. Rare are the moments in which he finds a way to fully release their intensities. Otherwise, not intervene rather than as an element of love. Nevertheless introduces a fundamentally vital love, all the high feelings. It is the psychic being which come all these beautiful feelings: gentleness, tenderness, fidelity, self-giving, sacrifice, soul reunion with soul, idealizing sublimations that elevate human love above his own. If you could dominate, rule, transmute other mental elements, vital and physical human love, then love could be, on earth, a reflection or a preparation of true love, an integral union of the soul and its instruments in a lifetime duel. But finding, although it is only an imperfect appearance that is rare. Sri Aurobindo. Communications from the psychic being not arrive in mental form. There are ideas or thoughts. They have their own character, distinctly different from the mental, something like a feeling that one understands himself, and which it operates. The psychic being is, by nature, peaceful, quiet and bright, empathetic and generous, broad and progressive. It maintains a constant effort to understand and progress. The mind describes and explains. the psychic being sees and understands. The mother. The person may have knowledge of the psychic, even if it is otherwise not formulates mentally. It is a sort of inner certainty that drives them to do the right thing at the right time, the right way, without necessarily going through the thought or the mental training. For example, a person can act with a perfect knowledge of what should be done and without any intervention, the mental reasoning. The mind is silent, simply watch and listen to registered things, and does not act. The mother. The perception of the outer consciousness can deny the perception of the psychic. But the psychic being has the true knowledge, an intuitive, instinctive knowledge. He says, I know. I cannot give reasons, but I know. Because their knowledge is not mental, or based on experience, not shown. Do not believe after receiving proof, because faith is the movement of the soul and its knowledge is spontaneous and direct. Although the whole world say the opposite, bringing thousands of tests, it does not prevent thanks to inside knowledge, a direct perception that can withstand all a perception identity. The knowledge of being psychic is a concrete and tangible thing, a solid mass. You can also take this knowledge to your mind, vital and physical, and then have an integral faith, a faith that can truly move mountains. But it takes nothing to say, this is not so, or ask evidence. The smallest weakness in faith puts everything to lose. How could the Supreme manifest if faith were not immutable and integral? In itself, faith is always unyielding, this is its nature, if not, it would not be faith. But it may happen that the mind or the vital or the physical do not follow the psychic movement. A man can get to a yogi and have the sudden faith that this person will lead you to the goal. Do not know if this has the knowledge or not, but feel a psychic shock and knows he has found his master. Do not believe after long mental considerations or after seeing miracles. And this is the only kind of faith that has value. You always are your destination are beginning to discuss. So there are people who sit and put to examine whether the psychic impulse is reasonable or not. This is not what is called blind faith that truly lose to people. Often say, oh, I believe this or that person betrayed me. In fact, this is not a fault of that person, but one who creates it. It is he who had, in itself, any weakness. If he had kept his faith intact, it would have changed the other. Why not remain the same consciousness full of faith, and did not know how to get that person should become what he wanted, he found himself betrayed. If he had had a full faith, I would have forced that person to change. Miracles always come by faith. Someone fills another and comes into contact with the divine presence, it can maintain this contact in a pure and continuously force the divine consciousness to manifest to the world more material. It all depends on your own level and his sincerity, and the more prepared are psychically, more summer is conducted to the true source for the true master. Being psychic and faith are always sincere, but if there is insincerity in your outer being and seek personal power instead of spiritual life, can lose it. That's what lost and not their faith. A faith that is pure in itself can be found and corrupted below our four movements, and that is what loses. The mother. Sweet mother, what is the role of the soul? But without soul we would not exist. The soul is what comes from the divine without separating from him ever, and returns to the divine while to manifest. The soul is the divine made individual without ceasing to be divine. The soul, the individual and the divine are one forever. Thus finding your soul is to find God, to identify with your soul is to join the divine. It may be said, then, that the role of the soul is to make man a true. The mother. the mind can open spontaneously to their own upper regions, can immobilize up and extend to the impersonal. It can also spiritualize in a kind of static or nirvana release. But the supramental is not a sufficient basis in the spiritualized mind only. If the deep soul is awake, if there is a new birth, and goes from simple mental consciousness, vital and physical, to psychic consciousness, then this yoga can be practiced. Otherwise only the power of the mind or any other part of being is impossible. Sri Aurobindo. It is better, no doubt, that the psychic being, the veil, is aware and active before it is removed, the screen that is between the individual consciousness and cosmic consciousness, which occurs when the inner self is brought to the foreground all its amplitude. Because then, the danger posed by the difficulties of what I have called the intermediate zone, is considerably lower. Sri Aurobindo. The purification and consecration are two great sadhana needs. Those who have experience before being purified, are at high risk. It is much better to have first pure heart, because then the path becomes safe. I therefore recommend proceeding preferably the psychic transformation of nature, because it penetrates the purification of the heart, his whole orientation to the divine, the submission of mind and vital to the domain of the inner self, the soul. When the soul is in the foreground, the person receives always, from within, the right guidance. Then it has to do what should be avoided, what is false and what is right in thinking, feeling and action. But this inner indicated increasingly emerges, to the extent that consciousness becomes increasingly pure. Sri Aurobindo. What I mean when I speak of the psychic being who stands at the front, it is just that. Usually the psychic being is deeply hidden inside. Very few people are aware of their soul when they speak of it, usually mean the vital being, the mental being, or also the false soul of desire. The psychic being stands behind, only acts by idea of mind, vital and physical, every time you can. For this reason, the psychic being, unless it is very developed, has on the lives of most men, but a weak and partial influence, covert, mixed or diluted. For put ahead, understand that it comes out from behind the veil, its presence is already experienced in everyday waking consciousness, his full influence dominates, transforms the mind and vital and their movements, and even the physical. The person is aware of his soul. Experience the psychic being as your true self, the mind and the rest begin to be no more than instruments of what is in the deepest within us. Sri Aurobindo. It seems to me that you should already know what the psychic being who is with his conscience behind the veil. Only a small part emerges in the mind, vital and physical. When this consciousness is not masked, when you are aware of your soul, the psychic being, when your feelings and your consciousness are yours, then you are aware of the psychic being. The feelings and aspirations of the psychic guide is all for truth, just awareness and the divine. It is the only part of being that cannot be achieved by hostile forces and their influences. Sri Aurobindo. The psychic being is at the center of the heart, in the chest, not in the physical heart, because all such centers are in the middle of the body, but it is back there. When the person moves away from the vital to go for the psychic, has the impression of descending deeper and deeper until it reaches the central point of the psychic being. The emotional being is located on the surface of the heart center. From there, the person submerges in depth to find the psychic being. Sri Aurobindo. I never heard two lotus in the center of the heart, but there is the seat of two powers, the front, the higher vital or emotional being. Back and hidden, the soul or psychic being. The apex of the psychic and emotional center, as the apex of all centers, is found in the spine. The base is ahead in the middle of the sternum. Sri Aurobindo. Emotion is a good element in yoga. but the emotional desire reaches easily be a cause of disturbance and an obstacle. Send their emotions to the divine, aspire to purify them. They will then be a help on the way and not a cause of suffering. It is not necessary to annihilate the emotion, but turn it to the divine. This is the good way in yoga. But the emotion should be purified, be based on peace and spiritual joy. Be able to transmute into ananda. Equality and calm. The mental and vital parts can go perfectly, accompanied by an intense psychic emotion in the heart. Light in the heart, in aspiration, the psychic fire that burns with a flame loyal and rises to the divine. It is the only way to bring the emotional nature to liberation and fullness. Sri Aurobindo. Only the ordinary vital emotions, wasting energy and agitate the concentration and peace, must be rejected. The thrill is not in itself a bad thing. Is a necessary element of nature, and the psychic emotion is one of the most powerful aids in sadhana. No need to repress psychic emotion that brings forth tears of love for the divine or tears of ananda. It is only the mixture vital introducing disturbance in the sadhana. Sri Aurobindo. On the physical plane, the divine is expressed himself through beauty. On the mental plane is through knowledge. The vital plane, through the power, and the psychic plane, through love. When we rise enough, we found that these four aspects merge into one another in a single consciousness, full of love, light, powerful, beautiful, containing everything, penetrating everything. It is only to satisfy the universal game that this consciousness is divided into different lines or multiple aspects of manifestation. The mother